republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And I am back once again. It is Sunday afternoon, and I am tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. You'll have to excuse me. I got a little frog in my throat, it sounds like. But tell you what, I don't know how long that this podcast is going to be today. I'm shooting for about 30 minutes. It is hot out. It's been hot out, but today is supposed to be like one of the hottest days of the year. Like we're supposed to be, at least for southern Idaho where I'm at, we're supposed to be, they're talking like, 100 degrees by, 10:30, 11 o'clock. So yeah, this room that I'm in has no air conditioning in it. And it's kind of like a little oven, right? And it's just, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to spend out here. It's hot in my house because I have no AC, but it's really hot in this little room. So we'll stick it out the best I can. Speaking of the heat, the last couple of weeks I have just been super busy with classes, and it's awesome. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. But once again, it is hot. I do not know what happened to Idaho, but we are getting crazy hot this year. And if you're coming to take a class from me and you're listening to this podcast, make sure you hydrate before you come to class, and then hydrate during the class. And that's for anywhere that you might be, going out and shooting with the family or going out and taking classes, whether it's here or wherever, it is that you live. Make sure you drink plenty of water and stay hydrated. You don't realize it, but when you are out shooting, if you're outside and you're in like a big gravel pit area or somewhere with great big berms, stacked up on all the sides of you, it's a lot warmer there than it is when you're outside of there. I know just in my little range alone, once you step down into what I call the pit, it is probably anywhere from 6 to 8 degrees, 6 to 10 degrees warmer down there. And if there's no breeze, it gets a little stifling down there. Had a great permit class last Saturday. I think we already talked about it on the podcast, and I'll tell you, those guys were tough. Those students were tough out there in that heat. And I know this week alone, the classes that I've had, it's been pretty warm. Yesterday, I was lucky enough to have a small group of women come and take a class from me, and it is a Saturday, and they did not have to work, so they were able to schedule that for 9 o'clock in the morning, which was a nice change. Even in the permit classes, we start early in the morning, but we don't actually get to shoot till the afternoon. But with them, we spend a little bit of time in the classroom going over safety and fundamentals and answering questions and getting everyone squared away on their firearms. And then we headed out to the range, and it was nice out, nice and cool, nice change, a nice good way to end the week for sure. But so what have you been doing? Have you been getting out and going shooting and putting up with the heat? If so, let me know. Find me on Facebook. You can find the Patriot Defense Facebook page. Get on there, join it. You can message me there. Let me know what you've been up to. I sure like hearing. I like interacting with the listeners. And you can always call and text me at area code 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223, and I will respond. I always respond. So just be patient with me, and I'll get back to you. You can get a hold of me there if you have any questions, comments, anything about the show, about shooting, about guns, about a story that you want to tell. Maybe you had a self-defense encounter. I've got a few people that I still need to get in touch with and get back to. I've already talked to them, but I need to get back to them. But as we come into the we're not there yet. We're still 100 degrees. But as we come into fall and winter and stuff kind of slows down a little bit, and it's nice to get some listeners on the air and some stories. And I've actually made some pretty good friends from listeners who have gotten a hold of me and have gotten on the air. I mean, there's There's Mo from Massachusetts, from the Boston area. I met her. We're good friends with her. I'm good friends with her now. I've got Tiger Schultz, good friends with him, and it all started through a message or a text, right? Talked to him, got him on the show, and we just kind of went from there. And so now they're my old standbys. If I need someone on the show, I can grab them and they will jump on. But as you can tell, I am flying solo today. I tend to think it's because all the other people that normally come on the podcast with me, they know that it is hot out and it is hot in this room, and I think they're all avoiding me. Now, you may ask yourself, Todd, you're complaining. Why don't you get a little air conditioning, a little window unit to put out there, make it a lot more comfortable? Well, you know what? I had one and it died. But you know what? I could never run it during the podcast anyhow because it's too noisy. It's too loud, and the mixer and the microphones and all that stuff would pick it up, and I just didn't like what it did to my audio quality. I like to think that I have pretty good audio quality. Maybe that's just me, but I don't like having background noise in the podcast, and I can get rid of some of it, but some of it I cannot, and it's really, really, really difficult to get it out. So we try to avoid it. So I got a nice cold drink in here, and I'll just sit here and sweat it out for you guys. So I want to I think it was about 3 weeks ago, a month ago maybe, my wife, the boss, right? Mrs. Patriot Defense. She came on the podcast, and she doesn't normally like to do that a whole lot. And, she's into firearms, but she's not into firearms. She's okay with them and doesn't mind them, and she shoots a little bit here or there, but she doesn't think she can keep up with the conversation. But I had her on here, and I thought it was a great episode. I enjoyed having my wife on here to kind of see what it is that I do out here. Now, she probably won't come back to do another podcast. Well, hopefully she will, but I might have to drag her out here because it's so warm out here. But she shot a little bit. We discussed this on a recent podcast, but she shot a little bit. She's got her own guns and stuff, but she doesn't shoot very much. She finally came to me and she goes, you know what? I want to figure this out. I want to really learn how to shoot. I mean, she's like, you're always out there shooting. You got class after class after class of people. You've got women's groups. She's like that I should be a part of, but she's busy with the kids and the grandkids. And so she came to me and she's like, I really want to learn how to shoot. So I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to start from the very beginning. I know that she knows the basics. We are going to start from the very beginning, and I'm going to have her work her all the way up through some of the more advanced classes, and I'm going to just really get her dialed in because that's what she wants. So we have a date set aside every week where me and her, we go out to the range, and we work on her shooting, and she does her training. And we started this last week with trigger press and the fundamentals and the dry fire. And I'll be honest with you, we didn't make it out to the range because it was like 100 degrees out there. And so we just picked our living room, right? We're the only ones there. We cleared her gun, and she worked on dry fire, and she's been working on dry fire every day since. So the goal is to, as she does this, is to get her on the podcast. Get her on the main podcast, or even have another little episode with her. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to do that. And have her just kind of talk about her training and what she's learning and what she's, how she feels about it, and all that. Maybe she's going to say that I'm a shitty instructor. I don't know what she's going to say. It'll be, I better not make her mad at me though. She could ruin me, I guess. She actually allows me to run Patriot Defense, right? She doesn't force me to go get a day job, which, be honest with you, financially, that's the responsible choice, is for Todd to go get a day job and put this back to the side. But she works hard, and she knows that I work hard, and we kind of like teamed this up and kind of have reverse roles, I guess, a little bit, and we make this work for the most part. So she is very understanding and sacrifices a nicer life than what she has now. She sacrifices a nicer, more comfortable life than what she has now. So I can do that, and I sure do appreciate it. So, couple things I want to talk about here, and then we'll get to the big story. The big story being that assault weapons ban that the House passed the other day, but we will get to that. Is I've been working on something. I'm always trying to think outside the box. I'm always trying to look for different ways, right, to make the business go, and different ways to reach people. And I know that, if you live close and you want to take a class, it's really easy. You just get a hold of me. We schedule a class, and you take the class. It's that simple. But I do know that there's a lot of people that listen to the podcast that do not live in the area. In fact, they live all over the United States, right? And they may or may not even have access to a range right away, right? Or if they do have access to a range, they don't have access to it like, whenever they want. It might be maybe they have to travel an hour or two, or maybe they have to, if it's a more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? A bigger urban type area, it may be, it costs money to go to the range, or you have to reserve a spot at the range. I don't know exactly how all that works, because fortunately, I've got my own range, but fortunately I live in Idaho, where around here, we're pretty rural, and we can just go out into the mountains or the desert, and we can find a place to shoot. And I know that doesn't work that way for everyone else. So what I've done is I've actually participated in some of this type of training. It was what I'm going to call online training. And so I decided that Patriot Defense needed to set up their own. And so I've been working, and it doesn't seem like it's that big a feat to a lot of people, but I've been working on this online training site for Patriot Defense. And I've got some stuff up there, and it's not a whole lot of stuff yet. It's every day I add a little bit more to it, right? But I figured I needed to get it to a point where I needed to launch it. And right now, you can actually, to get to the online training, you can actually go to the Patriot Defense Facebook page if you got Facebook. You can check it out there. Hopefully next week I will get it up on my Patriot Defense website. And I will try and put it in the show notes to this podcast. But if you're one of those people, right, and maybe you don't like being around crowds, or you don't have access to a range or whatnot, and you're a new gun owner, what I have put on there so far is my beginning fundamentals class. The basic safety, the basic like nomenclature, and how to what to call different parts of a gun, all the way down to the basic fundamentals. And I've written stuff out and explained stuff, and there are videos for each and every one of those, which is of me, right? Don't make fun of me on the videos. That was the hardest part for me to do, was the videos. But you can go check out the videos, see my smiling face, and I will explain to you grip. I will explain to you trigger press. I will explain to you stance, all that good stuff. I am on there, and I am explaining it to you. And so what you have to do, and it does cost a little, but it's for a very, very nominal fee. I mean, I think the whole course, which if you were to come and take a beginner's class from me in person right now, it's going to be $100. Okay. But what's nice is this is actually, I wanted to make it very obtainable, right? Very obtainable to a lot of people. So your beginning fundamentals course online, $40. $40 is going to get you all that. And I believe at the end of each video, the end of each section or chapter, you can even leave a comment there for me, and I will see it, and I can kind of answer some questions and whatnot if you have it once you have signed up and you are taking the course. And along with that course is there's some other things that you can check out. And there's some videos that give certain drills that you can use at the range, right? And they're affordable. They're like $5 a video, and the videos are about 5 minutes and 5 to 7 minutes. And they'll show you how to perform the 50-50 drill, how to perform a dry fire drill, how to perform figure 8 drill, those kind of things that you can use when you do go to the range. You can take that to the range, and you can, learn a little more, right? You can make, if you already have like one range trip a month or every couple months, so when you go to the range, you can be prepared with these drills to help you learn more, right? To get more value out of going to the range. But you can check out there. I've got those videos up. I've got the beginning fundamentals course, and I think I've got a package deal worked up in there as well. Now, once you go to the link that I'm going to throw in the show notes, you will have to sign up and join the school. That is free. Signing up and joining the school is free. From there on, if you want to purchase a course or a video, then that will cost you just a little bit. Very, very, very little. I tried to keep it very, very affordable. I know there's a lot of people that might get intimidated by going to a class. And here at Patriot Defense, I try not to intimidate anyone. I don't rule anyone out. It is what it is. Come take a class from me. But if you cannot, what a great way. You in the evening after work or in your own living room, right? In the comfort of your own living room, your own home, you can watch this. You can get started off. Maybe you've just went and bought this firearm. You just figure, man, I've kind of been against firearms, or I've never really had a need for one. You were nervous. You went and bought one. And now you're like, what do I do? Maybe you don't have any friends that shoot. You don't know what to do with this firearm now that you have it. What a great way. This you can watch, you can learn at your own pace. You can watch the videos over again, over and over and over again. I mean, they're right there at your fingertips. And check it out. I would appreciate it. The support is always very welcome. Always trying to pay the bills over here, but I'm excited to reach those that may not actually be able to afford to or have the availability to go out and take a class, or those that are nervous about it. Right. So check that out. If you like it, share the link on your social media. Share it with your family, your friends. Anything that you can do will help. Now, let me look here. I've got something else I want to talk about. I am normally just a handgun guy. Rifles aren't a big thing for me. And where is my video? Give me just 1 second here. I found a rifle that I decided I really, really wanted. Here it is. I saw it on TikTok of all things, right? This rifle on TikTok, and this is like, I don't know. I'm not a rifle guy, but I feel like I have to have this. It's the Henry. It's put up by Henry. It's the Henry HO10X. I think that's what it's called. And what it is it's a lever action. Oh, where is this here? I'm going to find this. It's a lever action rifle, and it is, there we go, right there. Lever action X model, chambered in 4570. Now, the video I saw on TikTok is just freaking great as far as I'm concerned. But it's actually got a red dot mounted to it, and I don't know. Of course, they're going to try and sell it, so they're going to make the video look as cool as they possibly can. But I'm really kind of excited about this rifle. It looks like it's anywhere from $700 to $900, depending on where you buy it. I honestly don't really have another handgun besides maybe the P365 that I want right now. So this rifle is kind of on my list. Do I need it? No. Do I want it? Yes. Would I ever have a need for that and that caliber? Nope. But man, it looks phenomenal. I've shot 4570 before in the lever action, of course, and I've absolutely loved it. It's fun to shoot. And so I honestly think I'm going to look at trying to pick one of these up. And of course, I have to put that red dot on it. That red dot will have to go on it. It's a little mix of new with the old. I don't know why I need it, but honestly, I do. I need it. I want it. And hopefully I can make it happen. And I need to look around local to see if anyone local has one. Maybe I'll get a good payday. Maybe I'll get a good payday with this online stuff, right? I can take my first online training check over and I'll purchase this new rifle. See, that's what you can do. If you like the podcast, you can support the podcast. Support Patriot Defense. Sign up for online training, and Todd can buy a new rifle, which will then generate more TikTok videos, which will then generate more content for the podcast that we all know and love. So there you go. Problem solved. Everybody's happy. I keep saying that. See, I'd get kicked off the radio station if I had dead air or kept saying so. But big news. Let me look here. Big news this week. The assault weapons ban passed the House. Kind of a scary little deal here. I don't think it's going to pass the Senate. I really just don't think it's going to. But man, it's not. When you think of assault weapons ban, you're programmed by the media and the left to think what? AR-15s, assault rifles, right? That's assault. AR-15 is Armalite rifles, not assault rifles. But it's interesting because they've got us to think about just rifles. We're just thinking about rifles now, right? So when you hear assault weapons ban, you think, oh, they're just going after the AR-15s. wrong. You need to look. And if you look, let me read this to you, okay? It says this legislation would ban the sale, manufacture, transfer, or possession of semi-automatic assault weapons. Doesn't say rifles, does it? Semi-automatic assault weapons and large capacity ammunition feeding devices. Although some of these firearms would be allowed under grandfathering, the bill's definition of semi-automatic assault weapons again, not rifles, weapons, semi-automatic assault weapons includes rifles, there's the rifle, shotguns, and pistols that are semi-automatic and can accept a detachable ammunition feeding device that possesses at least one other military type feature that can make the firearm especially deadly, as identified in reports issued by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms under the Clinton and Bush administration. So they want everything. We've always known that, right? But look at what they're going to do is they can't come right out. They have a few times, and we'll point that out here shortly. Got an audio clip where we can listen to it. Talks about that, but they aren't going to come out and say we want everything. And what they're kind of getting a little more bold, but they're going to say it's the assault weapons ban. You think assault weapon, you think of rifle because that's the way they've programmed you. But this covers semi-automatic anything, semi-automatic rifles, semi-automatic shotguns, semi-automatic handguns. So hunters, the people, we call them FUDs, right? The people that hunt, the people that just like their guns for hunting, but they don't like them for self-defense. There's a name for you. We call you guys FUDs. You guys in the past, we don't need those rifles. They don't speak for us. I saw a thing on TikTok the other day where there was a huntress, I don't know if that's what you call her, a female hunter. She's pretty popular, and she gets on there and goes, you guys don't speak for us. You don't speak for us. You know, we don't like those horrible, evil rifles either. We hunt. That's what we do. Don't you group us into your group saying that we're against you banning these rifles because we hunt. We're worried about our rifles. Guess what? If you hunt, you probably use a shotgun. And there's a good chance that you use a semi-automatic shotgun. This concerns you, right? You guys wouldn't cry. We're crying out alarm in the past, right? But this concerns you now. Okay, this concerns you now. You may not be Mr. You may not be all for the AR-15s. You may not be all for handguns. But if you hunt, you probably use a shotgun. And 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be a semi-auto shotgun. You duck hunters, you waterfowl, you upland game birds, all the way to the guy that hunts deer with a slug gun, right? Semi-autos. They're coming after your semi-autos. This is for you. They want absolutely everything. And let's check out this clip here.
From New York reserves, the gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For years, the Democrats told us we're not coming for your guns. Oh, yes, they are. Let's be clear. The Second Amendment is as clear as possible, and that's their beef. The Second Amendment says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. But they don't care. In fact, the sponsor of this legislation said so in committee. He said, quote, spare me the BS about constitutional rights. They don't care about that fundamental liberty law-abiding citizens in this country enjoy. And they're coming for your firearms. 6 weeks ago, it was the red flag law. You know, where someone who doesn't like you can report you to law enforcement or to a judge. There's a hearing that you can't be at, your counsel can't be present, you haven't been charged with the crime, but they can take your firearm. They can take your property, they can take away your Second Amendment liberties, and then you have to petition for a subsequent hearing to get that right back, and you have done nothing wrong and have not been charged with the crime. Then House Democrats passed the unconstitutional legislation that said 18 to 20-year-olds can't purchase a firearm. They can fight for our country, but they can't purchase a firearm. And today they're coming for your guns. 24 million of them. That's right, 24 million AR-style rifles are in the hands of law-abiding Americans today as we speak, and those individuals will not be able to sell or transfer that property. In the Heller case, the Supreme Court made clear that the Second Amendment protects firearms in common use at the time. During the markup, Representative Bishop asked the chairman, quote, is it the point of the bill to ban weapons that are in common use in the United States today? And the chairman said, the problem is that they are in common use. Yes, so this is the goal, and this is why it's unconstitutional. It couldn't be any clearer. Democrats don't care what the Constitution says. Fortunately, courts are correctly applying the Constitution. Last week, a federal district court judge in Colorado, who was appointed by President Obama, issued a temporary restraining order against the town of Superior, Colorado, to prevent it from implementing an assault weapon ban. The judge wrote, plaintiffs have stated that semi-automatic weapons, as well as magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, are commonly used by law-abiding citizens for lawful purposes, and therefore cannot be banned. And guess what this bill will do? It won't make communities safer. It won't make them safer at all. In fact, in the Heller case, the Supreme Court said, Second Amendment protects firearms in common use at the time, and also said this, quote, for lawful purposes like self-defense. 3 weeks ago, July 7th, 2022, a Florida homeowner used his AR-style rifle when individuals forcibly entered his home. After the homeowner opened fire, the individuals immediately fled. When asked if the homeowner would face charges, the Escambia County Sheriff Chip Simmons said, quote, absolutely not. The homeowner is protecting himself, and in Florida, you can do that. You can protect yourself. Democrats tried this ban before. It didn't work. It won't work now. And you know what it will do? It'll make communities, I think, less safe. What will make communities safer, though, is if Democrats stop defunding the police, stop cashless bail, start prosecuting criminals. They're taking away firearms used for self-defense by law-abiding Americans. This bill is wrong. It will make communities, I think, less safe, and it's unconstitutional.
It's not that they care about guns, because they don't give a crap about guns. What they care about is you having guns. We've been over this before, they want control. They want us defenseless. They still want the guns for them. They still want the guns for the military. They still want the guns for their bodyguards, their security, right? They don't care about us. And, you go through and you can get different magazines, as much as I really don't want to promote them right now. You can check out a magazine from NRA. You can check out the magazine from USCCA. You can read stories in there about people, law-abiding citizens that were able to have a firearm, and they used a firearm to defend themselves, to save their lives, to protect their others or themselves or their families, right? They use them, and they are alive today because of it. They were able to protect themselves. And you don't see or hear about those on the news, but just think about it, right? That single mom, right? That single mom who's got 2 or 3 kids, she's home alone. Someone starts to kick open her door. She's able to right now, if she sees fit, she's able to have a handgun, depending on where she lives, and she can protect herself and defend her and her kids. Right? Think of it again. Think of that single mom with 2 kids. It's 2:00 in the morning. Someone's kicking open their door, and she has nothing. She's not allowed to defend herself. She doesn't have a firearm, right? Nothing. What are you going to end up with? Kids, a mother and children murdered, raped, terrified. That's what you're going to end up with if you can't defend yourself, right? You are making communities unsafe. You're making them unsafe. You're not allowing people to protect themselves. I think back to the time, and I've told the story, on here, and maybe I need to do a whole nother episode because it's been years now. Well, maybe I need to do a whole nother episode where I talk about where I actually had to use my firearm. I didn't have to pull the trigger. I was with my 4-year-old daughter. I was confronted by a group of people, and they were in vehicles, right? But there was, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 6 of them. 6 of them. Okay, and they, from what I gathered, they were probably on meth or something. Something wasn't right. But they approached me and my 4-year-old daughter while we were out fishing. I wasn't in a bad area. I wasn't in an urban area. I wasn't in a mall. I wasn't in a movie theater. I wasn't in some dark alley somewhere. It was about 9:30 in the morning in Kansas on a river, and we were fishing. That is it. And I used my gun. I didn't have to point it at them. I just drew my firearm, and that was enough to make everything stop, to make everything go away, to make them change and, think twice about coming and harming me or my daughter. I'm still to this day not sure what they wanted. And I can only imagine right then and there what would have happened had I not had my firearm. What would they have done to me? What would they have done to my little girl, right? My daughter, my 4-year-old innocent daughter. What would they have done to her? Right? This is what they want to do. They want to take the guns. They want to have us totally rely on them, and they want us to rely on them to take care of us for absolutely everything. They don't care if people die. They don't care if we're defenseless, because that's what they want us to be, is defenseless. And they will go on and on and on. And they'll say, it's for the kids, it's for the kids, it's for the school, it's for the mass shootings. Most of these freaking mass shootings that they chalk up to being mass shootings aren't even really mass shootings anyway. I think it's like if more than 2 people are killed, they put it down as a mass shooting, right? And it's very, very funny, too, that these mass shootings that take place, they always seem to be generated, I feel, by the left. They start talking about gun control, and all of a sudden mass shootings happen, right? Mass shootings happen, and the people happen to be using the weapon and the thing that they want to ban, that they're currently working on banning. They've just said they want to ban it. They just said they want to make a law against it, or they've got an upcoming vote. They don't give a shit about us. They never have, and they never will. They're worried about themselves, their families, their money, their prestige, their elitism, and they want to lord over us. They want to reign over us. They want to make our choices for them, and they'll make those choices for us that benefit them the most. And right now, getting our firearms is going to benefit them the most. That's the way it's going to work. And let's say, this assault weapons ban, it passed the House. It still has to go to the Senate. It's got a hard road to go through the Senate, right? I don't know if it's going to get past the Senate, but I guarantee you, and this isn't just me. This is my group of guys and people and friends that I talk up to on the radio, and friends that I have, that I shoot with, and all kinds of stuff, right? This isn't just me saying this. I don't want to be the only guy to take credit for this, but I almost guarantee you that between now, since this passed the House, now and getting it through the Senate, I almost guarantee you're going to see another shooting, another 1 to 2 shootings. You're going to see whatever you can see, whatever they want you to see to help push you in the direction of supporting their ban. Look at this, and I know it seems like it's conspiracy theory, right? But look at the last shooting. Look at the second to last shooting, I think now. But look at the one in Indiana. Look at the mall shooter, right? If he had not had a gun, what would have happened? If he had not carried that semi-automatic handgun that he was legally carrying right then and there would have been a ton more people dead in that mall, right? That guy was using a rifle, and there would have been a ton more people dead. He wouldn't have been stopped. That guy with the rifle would have killed a bunch more people. And that's what they wanted to happen, right? There wasn't a high enough body count, so it didn't do them any good. And the fact that it was stopped by a legally concealed carry holder who had his firearm with him at the time, and he was using what they wanted to ban, right? So was the active shooter. The active shooter was using what they wanted to ban too, and that's what they were banking on. But the good guy was using what they wanted to ban, actually saved the day. He saved lives. And guess what? You don't hear much about that incident anymore, even though it was only like a week, 2 weeks ago, something like that. You aren't hearing about that. And it's very interesting that the guy, the shooter, right, the bad guy, his phone was found in the toilet and he had burned his laptop. Why is that? Why is that? And why aren't they releasing security cam footage from the mall? Why don't we see any of this stuff, right? Because this doesn't help them out at all. They don't care about you. They need dead people, and they need a body count to get put into place what they want to put into place. They say that they're doing it for you. They'll say that they're trying to save lives. They don't care about you. They care about themselves. They care about their elitism. They care about their money. That's it. They don't care about me. They don't care about my 4-year-old daughter. They wouldn't have cared had I gotten killed and she got raped, molested, and sold into sex trafficking. They don't care about that. Not at all. The only thing they cared about is me not having that gun that I used to protect us. That's the only thing that they cared about. That's it. They don't care. They'll take it. They don't care what happens after that. They don't care at all. So that's something to think about. But as I get done ranting here, I do want to say, hey, thanks to all the listeners. Sorry, it's kind of a short episode. It's probably getting pretty hot in here. In fact, I think, let me look here. I got a little temperature thing over here. Oh, yeah, we're pushing about 90 degrees in the war room right now. So I am going to cut this short, and I'm going to go inside where it might be a cool 80. But it's a little cooler than here. At least I can have fans in there. I can't have fans in here because you guys wouldn't be able to hear me talk. But thanks for listening. I do appreciate all the support. Share us on social media. I would absolutely love it. And I'll tell you what, check out that online training. I'll put the link up again on the Facebook page, and I will throw the online training link in the show notes. Check that out. If you're interested, great. At the very least, go join the school. You don't have to sign up for any classes right away. Joining the school is free. You can join my Patriot Defense School. That would be absolutely fantastic. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. I've been working on this for 2 months. I was counting on social media to help me get the word out. And I spent, building this for 2 months, but I spent the last 5 or 6 months trying to build up my social media presence as far as how many views and stuff I was getting. And I was doing great. I was breaking records, right? Everything was great. I was getting close to getting the online training done. I hadn't released it yet, but I was like, man, this is cool. I built my presence up. I built my views up. I'm reaching people. And then all of a sudden, Facebook came and said that I posted something that they didn't agree with. The fact checkers got me, whatever. And they went ahead and throttled down my social media presence. So what I was counting on to get the word out about my online training now is not going to happen. I'll put it on Facebook, but it's not getting probably even a quarter of the reach that I was getting. They throttled that back, and I probably won't be able to build it up again anytime soon. I mean, we'll see. It took a lot of posting and a lot of people sharing stuff. So if you see that on social media, please share it. Please like it. Any post. If you see the one about the online training, like it, share it as well. I appreciate it. If you see any of my other posts, comment, say something, like it, share it. Let's see if we can build back up the exposure that I was getting, because I kind of got screwed there now. But it is what it is at social media. I don't know why I expect anything less, or anything more. But appreciate the listening. Share it on your social media. And everyone stay safe. Stay inside where it's warm. If it's hot where you are, stay hydrated. Stay out of the heat. And I tell you what, hugging an air conditioner right now when it's hot out with your gun unloaded, no ammo in the room, it's a great time to get a bunch of that dry fire in. Not only can you do that in the winter, but you can do that in the summer too, especially when it's this warm out. Stay inside where it's cool. Do a little dry fire, save some money, and sharpen your skills. I will see you guys in a week. Bye.